Awkward.
Inadequate.
Narrow.
Outdated.
Shite.
Wasted.
Incomplete.
Useless.
Inefficient.
Wasteful. He, him.
I use she, her pronouns.
Anything really, but they, them generally.
He, him.
She, her.
I use he, him, but they, them's fine too.
I use she, her pronouns.
I prefer she, her, but I am not versed to they, them.
They, them.
She, her.
No.
Briefly, but not very much.
Never that I know of.
Once, and that was only transgender, and that was because we had transgender students in the school.
No.
You've got to be joking. No.
No, it wasn't.
Whose gender identity? No, not at all.
It wasn't particularly discussed. I suppose it was sort of mentioned in terms of like just saying like what the T was in LGBT, but it wasn't really like a thing that was discussed.
Not even slightly.
Not an SPHE.
It was mentioned in our textbook for like one line, but that's pretty much it.
Relationships? No. They were mentioned in class by other students, but in the context of not accepting them.
Taught? No. Mentioned? Yes. Mentioned in the very dismissive, this isn't relevant to any of you.
They were mentioned briefly for about 5 minutes, and then some parents complained, and then they were never mentioned again.
We were told they existed and then moved on.
Being gay was mentioned in class, with aspects of how non-heterosexual relationships worked.
Nope.
No.
They would have been mentioned just as something that exists, but it wasn't really treated as like something that would be relatable to people in the class. It was very much just, oh, this is a thing, but it probably doesn't apply to any of you guys.
Out of hope, no.
Not really. Maybe the gay men should wear a condom.
The only thing that was mentioned in regards to sexual health was gay men's intercourse.
Not at all.
No.
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 We did have one class when I was in my first year, I think, but it wasn't enough and it wasn't good.
They kind of briefly mentioned like kind of gay men was really what they were going for, which didn't make a lot of sense because I was in an all-girls school.
Nope.
Not an SPHE, no.
Not from school, but I was aware.
Yes, I was, but that would have been because I would have known people on the ace spectrum rather than learning about it in school.
Not until I got to college and I met my housemate, so until I was 20.
Yes, I was aware of it, but it was entirely like myself. It didn't get mentioned at all in school.
Not because of school.
No.
I mentioned asexuality and I was told it didn't exist.
Yes, from the internet, but I thought asexuality was a result of trauma.
Nope. Not for a long, long time.
I was aware that asexuality and aromanticism existed from the age of about 15 or 16, but it wasn't taught to me in school. Tumblr was the main source of my sexual education.
I went online. I kind of just Googled a lot of different things, and there's a lot of really good YouTube videos and different channels and stuff that are very educational on those kind of topics.
Online and social groups.
The internet.
Pornhub.
BuzzFeed videos.
Mostly just friends, and oddly enough, like the Irish fetish community, because they happen to know a lot more than most of my queer friends.
Archive of our own and fanfiction.net.
Online.
Google.
A shorter list would be what is currently on the SPHE curriculum.
I would add more stuff just about LGBTQ plus individuals in general, like more than just, a passing mention.
Emphasis on emotional health, emphasis on different gender identities, and sort of arrow and ace.
Diversity.
The fact that everyone should use condoms, regardless of your sex and who you're sleeping with.
Sexual pleasure, because I feel if we educate them in sexual pleasure, they'll be more open to learning about STIs and whatnot.
gender identity, sexuality, lack of sexuality, any of that. Like, just please put it in and refrain from having the whitewashed Catholic education that we have right now.
There needs to be more information about sexuality and gender. There needs to be more information about romantic attraction versus sexual attraction and consent. Consent is massive.
More sex ed.
A little bit less religion and morality, and a little bit more okay with diverse groups of people.
I think they should provide more resources for people, like maybe like information booklets or websites, or provide different places where people can go to find out about things. Even if the course isn't going to cover it or they're not going to cover it in class, they should at least provide somewhere for people to go so they can learn about things related to like sex ed and sexuality.